Hello and welcome to the World Doom League, the first game of the summer 2021 season. I am Xenaero and I am joined by the lovely, the dedicated co-host and author of the website of doomleague.org, KBlair. How are you doing, Blair?
I'm doing great, and let me just say, it is great to be back and playing some Doom, baby. Woo!
That is absolutely right. We have two great teams in front of us, the Sexual Panthers and Rip and Tear. What can you tell us about these two teams that we'll be watching today in a 3v3 format?
Well, let's take a look at the betting odds. Currently, the believers favor the Sexual Panthers, 51% to 49%. Very even odds. But first, let's talk about the Sexual Panthers for a bit. So the Sexual Panthers, led by Human Bones, is in again for another season of Doom CTF action. Swept in the last appearance, the summer 2020 semifinals and the playoffs, this team is certainly out for blood. And Human Bones has proven time and time again that he can assemble a WDL finals caliber crew with a wide array of available talent. Let's start with Human Bones. Our official league leader in damage all time. He's actually on track this season to hit 1 million total damage. Pretty amazing feat. However, it's the title that he's after. As competitive as Human Bones is, last season lit a fire under him. And now nothing short of the WDL Championship will satisfy his need to win. This first pick, Alt Stab, was a bargain snatched up by Bones in the auction draft for $6. This former captain's taking a break from captaining this season in order to secure the bag with Human Bones. A great defender, serviceable runner, Stab can occasionally show flashes that he is a former WDL champion. Of course, he won in 2014, in summer 2014, while being on Adderall drunk drivers. The second pick that Bones selected was Devastation. It's absolutely bonkers that he's the second pick. Devastation will show that he is dominant, still dominant in the realm of Doom. Obviously, a revered dueler. He had a first round playoff exit last season to the Superchargers. So he's absolutely in the mood to devastate the competition. uh, let's
Oh
move on.
boy.
Let's move on to their fourth, Toby. The only member from Human Bones' summer 2020 Sexual Panthers. Toby is back and ready to frag. Toby has had a round record of 10, 8, and 1 with league average stat line. So not pretty solid player, honestly. If you can hang with the league average, you're a pretty solid player in this league. Toby is very effective as a runner and as mid, an above average capture rate and a very high pickup capture rate. So you can see him running or playing mid. And let's swing it on over to Xenaero to give us the rundown on Rip and Tear.
Now, Rip and Tear, the blue team, this upcoming match is another team coming back from the previous season, and they're looking for blood. In fact, the team that eliminated them in the first round was the Sexual Panthers. So we officially have our first grudge match of the season. Stahl and crew will have it out for the Panthers, especially Human Bones and Toby, previous teammates. Now, team captain Stahl, the captain of Rip and Tear. Stahl is coming off a historic season stat-wise, but was eliminated in the first round by Human Bones, Toby, and Dragon of the Sexual Panthers. Dragon from that Sexual Panthers team is now a teammate of Stahl, and Stahl, armed with playoff experience and a refreshed crew, is looking to hang around in the playoffs and maybe participate in a championship game. Moving down to Skull Rush, fresh off his win in summer 2020 with Best Ever, he's looking to add another chip to the imaginary trophy case. Being able to play the positionless Doom that Best Ever team was capable of, Skull Rush can for sure integrate with Stahl's playstyle to get flags out to mid. Dragon, a player that was on Human Bones' team last season. Dragon is an incredibly effective player who can play all positions to perfection. His ability to smother an opposing runner across the map, bring the fight to them, is absolutely deadly when playing mid or defense. His offense is potent as well. He's definitely a player you want to keep track of if you're staring down the barrel of his super shotgun. Reckless, a veteran of the World Doom League, has not played since fall 2015. The league has changed leaps and bounds by that time, so it's hard to say what impact he could have to the game. It's likely he'll sit on the bench as a fourth, but he's still a wild card. He could jump in at any point if any player has connection issues or what have you. It is a 3 versus 3 capture the flag game. Only 3 players on each team can be active at any point. But, for a moment, let's give everyone an overview of the map we'll be seeing in Week 1.
Welcome to Map 25, Infection. Infection is a frag-heavy map comprised of a central narrow path between red and blue teams. Alternatively, there is a route from the midpoint up to a side entrance that will provide hard cover. In addition, a flag runner can activate a gate to escape out to mid, where their team can effectively cover them for a capture. Matches are played in a best-of-3 format, where the team that scores 5 flag captures, or the team with the most flag captures at the end of 10 minutes, is the winner.
And we're back. Now that should give you a picture of what we'll be expecting here in just a minute. We are almost on top of game time. Is there anything else you want to add, Blair, before we get into it?
How about predictions? I will say Human Bones and the Sexual Panthers will take it in 3 in a very close nail-biter.
Ooh, they might take it in 3, but I'm actually thinking that the Sexual Panthers will take it in 2. Now, we've seen both teams practice, but I'm thinking that the Sexual Panthers might have domination over mid in this map, and mid is very important. But hey, we've been wrong before in previous iterations of this broadcast, and we'll probably be wrong going forward in the future here. But we'll be getting into the broadcast server in just a second.
Don't let us influence your bets, ever.
It's never a good idea. And on that topic, the World Doom League Discord does have a betting bot done by one of our community members where you can bet fun bucks on the outcome of different games or aspects of the season, which you can find in the third link in that chat box, but you can also find it on doomleague.org if you're listening to this on the World Doom League YouTube channel. We are at game time. Rip and Tear is in the server, but where is the Sexual Panthers? Now, we saw in the map overview of how tight this map can be. Despite its deceptively long middle area, players will post up at various points along here, so it ends up being a gauntlet for a lot of players. And unfortunately, the flag can just sit there very lonely, waiting to be picked up or returned. Or just returns on its own, heartbroken.
Yes, flags are ephemeral, but Doom is forever.
Doom is forever. We've been doing this for how long, Blair?
I mean, a long time.
It's been, well, we've been running Doom competitions in general in Capture the Flag format since 2006, so it's definitely over a decade of experience that a lot of players have had in organized Doom competition in a league format. And as stated before in that overview video, you do have 10 minutes per round teams can tie if they go the full distance of 3 rounds and they don't have an advantage over each other.
My favorite part about this map is the gate. Very, very quick way to burn a defender that's trying to shoot you, you know, before you get there.
And we got to see a little bit of that gate in the overview, but it does take a little bit of precision to hit that switch because at the time you're pretty much being shot at by the defender if you're the runner. So you have a very limited window of time to hit the switch, get out here, and you know, hopefully get across alive.
Yeah, that's an understatement. That the switch it's very hard when you're being shot at by 2 people, and yeah, very, you know, hitting a switch you'd think is easy, but it's not.
And the final member of the Sexual Panthers lineup, Captain Human Bones, has just connected to the server. And the players will be getting their demos in line, and then we'll be on our way. And we have a call vote for a restart. We'll be getting into round 1 of the season opener of the World Doom League. The match is starting. Watching Stallion 2 start off the game. Gets 1 frag going up to upper and gets brought down as when players spawn, they tend to collapse back into their base on map 25. 1 touch, but that's all you get. And watching Toby, he's out, but brought down at mid. Skull Rush with a touch for Rip and Tear. Out the gate side. Tries to rocket jump across, but is shot down midair.
Anti-air was in effect there.
Devastation, 1 touch. A little bit of health, some armor out to mid. Getting peppered from behind. This might be our first capture of the season. It is good. Sexual Panthers are up 1-0.
That was a pretty clean run.
Devastation has had a lot of practice with being able to run effectively. He has history as an offensive player, and that served them well for the first touch within a minute of round 1. And for right now, it's just blow after counter blow in the middle of the map. No team able to really get much ground to allow their runner to touch the flag. Switching over to Human Bones, who seems to be playing more of a mid-roll. The next touch is done by Devastation on Rip and Tear's flag, but is quickly returned.
Yeah, this mid is quickly becoming a meat grinder. Not anybody can get past it alive.
Comparing the frags so far, pretty even. 34 total for Rip and Tear, and 33 for Sexual Panthers. So, I mean, the power currently is pretty even early in round 1. No big discrepancy as of yet. Devastation with another clean touch. Skull Rush did get a touch earlier on, but he got brought down at the gate. And Stahl with another, I believe that was a pickup, and it was returned. Skull Rush again with another touch. Tries another rocket jump, but doesn't get as much lift. But Stallion picks it up, and it is taken the rest of the way to the flag to tie up the series 1-1.
Great pickup. Saw that covered all the way.
Stallion dropping in the enemy flag carrier before moving back out to mid and into the enemy base himself. With low health, he doesn't have much hope to getting out of the base alive, but it does force the enemy team back, and that in itself is a valid strategy in Doom capture the flag. And we've seen players get much better over the years, haven't we, Blair?
Yeah, I mean, we've also seen players, you know, win in their first season and just being incredible. I feel like Toby is an example of a player who's really improved since his first season.
Dev does shoot the defender behind him, but can't get out to mid before it gets returned. It's great self-cover, which you do have to be efficient at as a runner on this map, considering most of your spawns are directly behind you as a flag runner. And check it back up on the frags. A little bit extra for Rip and Tear, as Dev is out to mid with the flag, but he only has 14 health to his name. Gets clipped around the corner, but spawns back on top of the flag. It's a very fortunate spawn to pick up the flag and carry it the rest of the way. And wags his finger at Rip and Tear on you're not fast enough for devastation. And that has to sting a little bit for Rip and Tear, but the fact remains that they have over 5 minutes left to tie up and even turn that back around.
Bragging a lot. Now we're seeing it a lot here. A lot of applied pressure by one team now.
And Toby's trying to get out of his base, but he ends up having to fall back. With multiple members of Rip and Tear in the base. A great shot from the boomstick will drop the flag, clears the base, and that is the life of a defender on map 25. Stallion out with armor and 60 health to his name. Man, much less, more like 0. It does get returned last second. He almost got away with that. Just as Human Bones almost got through the gate on that touch. Devastation with another lift run. Or, sorry, gate run. But the coverage was at mid to stop him.
Yeah, Stall almost got that. Ooh, here's another run.
Yeah, but he's only got 5 health, and that makes it pretty tough. He's able to get armor and a med kit. But 2 members of the Panthers are staring at that exit while Skull Rush is out. And it does get picked up again by Stow. And he just needs it returned, and it's scored. Now the score is 2-2 in the first round of this season opener game. 4 minutes left on the clock. That was great teamwork from Rip and Tear to get that flag into the base. That required 3 different members of their team. Meanwhile, Dev just casually leaves the base and strolls on in. Says, I'm going to put one more point on the board. The Panthers are up 3-2. Skull Rush needs that cover at mid, but he does get across, and it is returned. Rip and Tear with a retaliatory strike. We could play that game too. Three flags on the board for each team now. It doesn't matter in the World Doom League how many flags you do score. You have to come away as the winner of the round. And if you do tie the round, it will go to the distance. It will go to 3 rounds. And lots of activity happening in the red base. Dev being spawn fragged even. Let's switch to Stall, who does get a touch just as we switch to him. We're moving to Skull Rush, who is being shot from behind. But is there enough coverage? There is. Dragon does pick it up. Then back to Skull Rush, who barely survives with 5 health to chain it from Skull Rush to Dragon back to Skull Rush. For the 4th point on the board for Rip and Tear. Ice Bones tries to get out through mid while there's people trapped in the blue base. But too many bullets and not enough life. Captain Bones out and across. And it looks like a mutual standoff of flag carriers. As you see with the flag indicators in the lower right-hand corner, but it does get returned. There's more people in the base, though, and Bones is brought down, and the flag is returned for Rip and Tear. Skull Rush runs face first into a tree, but that doesn't stop him as Rip and Tear takes away round 1. 5-3.
Yeah, it's a great match. Remember the 60-second intermission here. saw Stahl getting aggressive with with things, and pretty impressive. Overall.
Yeah, let's talk about, like, I mean, there isn't even that much of a frag difference between the teams. 164 for the round winners, and then 143 for the Sexual Panthers. Like, it's pretty close. It is how they're utilizing their runs that is making the key difference in this first round. Now, if you're the Panthers, what are you looking at in changing up for round 2?
Yeah, I mean, maybe a change of runner, maybe Dev play mid, Bones run. Bones seem to be able to get flags out to mid. It's going to be tough, though, against Stahl, man. He has great... and Dragon. They both have great frag ability.
Yeah, Stahl and Dragon are known to be very accurate Super Shotgun Titans. Now we're getting into round 2. And the pressure's on for the Panthers to win their first round win. Their first, both round and game win. You don't want to start off the season with a loss.
Especially don't want any round wins going into week 2.
Yeah, and we do have a scoring system for the league. Blair, how does that shape up?
So, we have a point system. Depending on how many rounds you win, or how many rounds you tie. So if you tie at least one round, but you lose, you get 1 point. If you win in 2 rounds, you get 4 points, and then you get nothing. The other team gets nothing. So very important to at least get 1 round or tie 1 round, and make it go to 3.
That is correct. So even if you do lose, losing in 3 rounds is you get something out of it.
Yeah.
And how many points do the teams get if they tie the game? If it goes back to the Panthers and then they tie round 3, what happens then?
So if it ends up in a tie game, then both teams get 2 points apiece.
So playing for a tie is not necessarily a bad thing if you're down in round 1. Obviously you want to play for a win, but if that doesn't shape up in the cards, then you have an incentive as a team unit to play hard and fast. And that was Stahl getting absolutely devastated by devastation. There you go. Here's a joke. Stahl's trying to frag his way into the base, but the Panthers are kind of keeping control of both entrances there. It's very common for players to fall back into their base to clear it before moving back out. Bones tries to get across, but can't get past the midpoint.
A lot more defensive this time around with 3.5 or 2.5 gone.
Yeah, no flag captures early on. Teams playing very cautiously, which is honestly probably more common than not in most matches in the World Doom League. After a first round, teams might sit back and be like, okay, well, let's feel them out, see what might open up in their defense. Let's switch over to Toby, watch Toby for a bit, give him some love. Right before we switch back to Dev for another flag run. He's pretty stout, got 90 and 100, kills the guy in front of him. He just needs to cover behind, and it is not there. It is a return for a rip and tear. Pretty solid run by Dev, but not enough. And Stallion tries to hit the swish and just face plants into the gate. It's like, please let me pass. And looking at Dragon defending, which is tough for a European. And Dev is across. Dev burned Dragon and captured the first flag of round 2. This is what the Panthers need. They need an early lead, and they need to continue to secure it. One thing to guard against is when a team does score a flag, oftentimes the players chasing the carrier will come back in and muscle their way into the base and try to score a rebound.
Yeah, very important to get that post-capture clear in order to stop the pressure and continue your own pressure. SXP seems to have done it.
Dev trying to clear out the base before he can hit the switch, and Sometimes that is not possible, but it does allow the rest of his team to push up as well, with one team so focused on bringing down the flag carrier. If you have two players in the base, then you only have one player elsewhere. It's simple math, ladies and gentlemen. Stall out
stuff.
with 35 health, but all three members of the Panthers are out at mid. Dev with a touch. Skull rushes across. Rocket jumps and is shot down again by the anti-air battery.
Yeah, the flak gun got him on that by Bones.
You love to see it. You love to see people try stuff like that. I mean, rocket jumps are extremely valuable if you get the angle right. And there's another member of Rip and Tear in the gate. Just, I'll take that flag, thank you. Skull Rush lost a lot of speed there, though. Hitting that wall will stop your boots.
You know, that's a tricky run, and they almost got it because of it.
I mean, he was trying to do it backwards too, and there's that slope in the wall there that you hit that, and the Doom engine is like, no, you're actually at 0 speed now. But great handoff, like past the gate. That's the kind of stuff that makes games like this exciting. And Dev just cannot spawn. Oh my god, Rip and Tear had complete control over the forward spawns there. He gets one more touch. Who haven't we watched a bit of? Let's just watch Dragon some more. Dragon does have to play with a significant ping. Just over 100. I mean, 3 digits is significant in Doom, but players have adapted to it very well. Skull Rush has adapted to it very well. Toby has, and Dragon. So ping is not always a problem.
Yeah, many Europeans in the WDL that are able to ball out even with their 150, 200 ping.
And Dragon, knowing that you can't come in the gate that side, so he knew that that member of the Panthers had to drop down from that ledge. And great angle to take as a defender. We do watch runners a lot, but we don't often watch what defenders have to, the accuracy required, which unfortunately was not there. But he's chasing the flag carrier and does catch him over the gap, holding his shot until he's the most exposed, trying to jump across. As the league has progressed over the years, runners have gotten much better, coverage has gotten a lot more consistent, and it's made defenders work a lot harder. Skull Rush is in the base. With the enemy flag carrier, it does get returned. Toby does pick it back up, but he only has 20 health and he's intercepted. Dragon with a touch. Out to mid with 65 health and no armor. Thinking about his options up here. Does clear out the base. It does need to get a return, but his team is kind of recovering from being blasted. The flag is dropped and it's returned, but it's taken again. And this is where voice chat is very valuable. He was able to see the runner go out up top, was able to probably call it to his team, and does secure a capture, tying it up. Rip and Tear and Sexual Panthers in round 2, tied 1-1.
Oh man, 2 minutes left too. This is gonna be close.
Yeah, we're approaching this 2-minute warning here. And as anyone who's been watching the broadcast either here or on YouTube or has been directly participating in games knows the last 120 seconds is crazy. Dev picks it up, going through mid. He tries to take some hard cover. It does get dropped. Can he pick it back up? He picks it back up with a fresh spawn and does score it. From dev to dev, from coast to coast, from flag stand to flag stand, 2-1 in favor of Sexual Panthers. And
Bones returns it himself.
Bones like, don't worry about it. I got it. Open the gate, please, and thank you. Panthers are up now by a factor of 2. So it went from a tied game with 2 minutes left to SXP just balling out and getting moving the needle to 3-1. Crazy. We were just talking about how games blow wide open in the final minutes of the game, and case in point.
Yeah, I mean, that great run by Dev just blew this game wide open.
And that is the action of Doom Capture Flag that you love to see. But can they hold the fort for the next 45 seconds? We have seen it before where they get back-to-back runs and it's like what happened? Bones tries to chase him. Dev with a touch of his own. He's going to try to stall. We're not talking about the player. Great tactical move by Devastation. As we talked about, a premier dueler. Very brainy player. Forces Rip and Tear to come get him to take themselves off the board on offense. And Rip does get a flag across, but Bones is doing the same thing. He's hanging on. And no team can capture from this point on. There's simply is not enough time to get from point A to point B. Red team wins. The Panthers are taking it to round 3.
That means my prediction's still good.
Actually, yes, I am knocked out of the prediction status. I was knocked out at the end of round 1. I thought Panthers were going to win in 2. But for a season opener game, I mean, this is what you want to see. You want to see it go to 3 rounds. You want to see teams do some crazy stuff and pull off some wild comebacks. That's what happened in round 2. And they have the mental momentum. Is that a phrase? To go into round 3.
It is now. Mental fortitude to move on.
Mental fortitude. And as always, the World Doom League is powered by Odomex, the online multiplayer Doom experience. Get yours today.
It's a free download. Why wouldn't you?
Heading into round 3, watching Dragon kind of slay out at mid while the Panthers are turned around. They don't know how to deal with the pressure initially. There's a lot of pressure by Rip and Tear early on. It's the kind of pressure they need if they want to bring back the momentum to their side. Controlling the front of the enemy base forces them to deal with you. And Dragon does pursue a potential runner down the hallway, knowing there's only one way out. Dragon doing very, very well early on in this game, causing mayhem at the front of the Panthers base. Stahl with the first touch. His team is forward. If they can cover him, and they do. Even if only barely, that is a successful flag run within a minute, mirroring round 1. A fantastic run by Stahl to put Rip and Tear 1 point on the board. And the series is tied if you're just joining us. Rip and Tear won the first round, and the second round then went to the Panthers in a last-second comeback. Now we're looking at a standoff, but it does get returned, and Stahl has 2 players who jumped over that gap. A difficult jump to make. And they were coming after him. They knew where he was. They knew he had not left yet. And that is the importance of communication with the rest of your team. Moving over to Dev.
Played a little more aggressive this time, which is what helped them in the first round.
And aggression does end up winning a lot of games, especially on maps that are considered very frag-heavy maps, like Infection. Having a key runner is very important for a team, and having that frag power behind them as they try to escape the base with all those spawns that are in such close proximity. Very important. Stallion making work at mid and pushing up, trying to spawn frag, at least do some damage. If not for his run, then to support a teammates. Going to Toby now. Not exactly the first name that comes to mind when you think of a star player, but Toby has made a name for himself multiple times across multiple leagues. And is a very strong pick.
Solid player.
And the Panthers have 7 minutes left in round 3 to at least tie it up. They need 1 flag to start that momentum, but if they can't get anything rolling, then as it stands, then Rip and Tear will walk away the winner. And it is, they have traded rounds so far. And no tie rounds as of yet. Dev across. But low health. It does get picked up by Toby. And Toby slides his corpse right across the flag stand and successfully converts a capture. Bones with a touch. Carriers out across. And both carriers are dropped up top on the mountains. We see a mutual return. They're almost poetic in how it was mirrored.
Yeah, really. Yeah, both players just had a truce and we're like, we're going to return our own flag and we'll go our separate ways.
Yeah, no worries. We'll do a reset. It's all good. And Dev across. Did he get all the way? No, it does get returned last second. I was surprised. I thought Dev was going to drop at 10 health or way earlier than that.
Yeah, that was Skull Rush. Huge return. Huge.
And those returns are what keeps the dream alive. Teams tied up 1-1 as we approach the 5-minute mark in the final round. Effectively tied. Skull Rush unable to get out with those spawns behind him piling up. Stall blasted past the gate. Flag is down and has to be returned past the gate, but Skull Rush took the opportunity to go for another touch while that one person was trapped behind the gate. The gate does close rapidly behind you. Bones with 15 and brought down. Skull Rush dogged by one member of the Panthers. Has to get across. No more red in front of him, but red fills his screen as he gets dropped and the flag is returned. Dev with a touch. Bones with a touch. Lots of greasy Doom Guy mix hitting that flagpole. We'll look at the frags right now for these two teams. Rip and Tear ahead by about 20. Doesn't make that much of a difference in a map like this where your spawns are so close together. But Dragon and Stall leading the pack of the whole server with 46 and 42 frags respectively. Stall with a pickup, tries to get back into his base, needs it returned, needs it covered, and it is good. 2-1 in favor of Rip and Tear. 4 minutes left.
SXP is going to be feeling the heat now. One flag's the difference between 1 point and 2 points.
That's well, let me do the math here real quick. That checks out.
Sorry, I meant league points. But yes, that is also true. The inverse way.
Well, fact remains they have a limited amount of time, and I have not seen them get many touches lately. Been Rip and Tear that has been getting a lot of the touches in the final minutes of this round. Now, will that change? Are the Panthers going to have a strategy to come back from this? Because we saw last round it was tied and they scored 2 flags very quickly after the 2-minute mark.
I think we'll start to see Bones have some sneak runs.
That was absolutely part of it. Human Bones, a great all-rounder in his own right. He's able to frag, he's able to defend, he's able to run. He's able to play mid. He's able to play everything, really. There are quite a few players that play every position and every facet pretty well. Bones has been around for a while. And a veteran captain himself, he's able to form a team around himself. And that's a powerful tool to have. Plays a little peekaboo with Dragon there, goes for a touch, but brought down on the ramp.
Yeah, we're seeing Rip and Tear get completely demolished in their own base here.
Bones with armor and 80 health, 40 now. Boomstick behind him as Stall returns it. Great return by Stall. You don't want a runner getting out of your base relatively unscathed. Bones going for touches. Now we're hitting the 2-minute warning here. What kind of tricks are the Sexual Panthers going to pull out of their hat here?
And they're running out of time to do it.
And it does take time to get the flag from one point to another. Seems to take them even more time to try to get into the base. Rip and Tear kind of shutting them down pretty effectively. They're not able to just run in there and grab the flag. Unless their name's Devastation. Except Stallion came in the gate like a heat-seeking missile. Skull Rush with armor and 75 health. He's got a defender directly behind him. Trying to weave. He bobs and weaves his way past. Then he can't convert it to a capture. The second guy drops him, returns it. What a great return.
Toby with a huge return.
Trying to touch his Dev can't hit the switch. Door stuck. Now we're under a minute. Pressure is paramount. Two members of the Panthers are in the base, but so Rip and Tear is oh, I thought I saw a player standing still. And Dev with 25 health going out upper. You can hear the shotguns behind him.
Ooh.
Bones has the flag. He needs it open. Needs the gate open. He can't get a kill shot off on this defender. But he does.
Oh, man.
He drops down. Needs to return.
Oh!
He's not able to kill the last guy up on the pedestal. The auto aim was not in his favor. And that is it.
And that flag didn't get returned anyway, so it wouldn't have been a cat. But man,
Rip
what
and
an
Tear takes
ending.
round 3, 2-1. That was phenomenal. From a great performance from Rip and Tear, a great performance from the Sexual Panthers to bring it to 3 rounds and a very close round 3. But that is, I mean, what more could you want from the season opener? And that'll do it. Unfortunately, the Sexual Panthers will be taking a loss in the first week. But what can you do? You know, you have 4 more weeks in the regular season to make up for that. And they played very
have
well.
A point to show for it.
Yeah, they lost in 3 rounds, so they will be taking 1 point, while Rip and Tear won in 3 rounds, and they'll be taking 3 points. And they'll be looking forward to week 2. But as for us, we'll be looking forward to Sunday for the future games that will be broadcast here on the World Doom League. Thank you for joining me, Blair.
Thanks for having me. It was great. Terrific week 1, game 1.
Absolutely. And the World Doom League is back. Tell your friends, tell your family. They'll all love it. We put in a ton of effort to bring you guys great Doom capture the flag action, and I appreciate everyone here for tuning in. We'll be playing you out with our intro, and be sure to check out our website at doomleague.org, which KBlair himself has worked very hard on and gives you a lot of information on match times coming up, a link to our Discord, a link to our YouTube, where this VOD is going to be uploaded here in short order. Thank you for coming out, and have a great rest of your Saturday.